Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders entered the 2025 NFL season with high hopes, carrying the momentum from an unexpected run to the NFC Championship game. During Jayden Daniels' rookie year, expectations were elevated not only for the team, but particularly for their young quarterback, who had already begun to carve out a reputation for poise, athleticism, and leadership at the highest level. However, as the season has unfolded, those hopes have been systematically eroded by a combination of inconsistent play, roster challenges, and perhaps most consequentially, a series of debilitating injuries that have hampered Daniels' ability to consistently take the field. What was supposed to be a year of consolidation and development for the franchise has instead become a cautionary tale of how quickly the NFL can humble even the most promising teams and players. Add 4 wins and 10 losses, the Commanders now sit just above the bottom of the league standings. A stark contrast to the optimism that accompanied the team's off-season preparations and draft maneuvers. The reality of the situation has forced both the organization and the fans to wrestle with difficult questions about player health, development priorities, and long-term strategic planning. With Daniels' elbow injury at the center of the debate, in Week 15, Daniels was ruled out of the matchup against the New York Giants due to an elbow injury, reigniting conversations around the franchise's approach to handling its young signal caller. With playoff contention already a distant memory, the discussion has shifted from immediate competitiveness to the more consequential issue of safeguarding the quarterback's future. These decisions are never easy in the NFL, where the culture of playing through pain often collides with modern medical wisdom and long-term planning. Yet, few voices in the discussion carry as much weight or contextual authority as Robert Griffin III. Griffin, a former Washington quarterback himself, endured the highs and lows of a promising career cut short by injuries that, if managed differently, might have altered the trajectory of his time in the league. Speaking candidly about Daniels' current situation, Griffin was emphatic and unapologetic in his assessment, stating that the young quarterback should be protected at all costs for the sake of his long-term health and career longevity. Griffin's perspective is particularly resonant because, like Daniels, he was a Heisman Trophy winner and a second overall draft pick for the Commanders, which makes his experiences highly relevant to the conversation at hand. The Washington Commanders should 100% shut down Jayden Daniels for the rest of the season, Griffin declared. A quote widely reported across media outlets and cited by RG.org. He continued, emphasizing that the team's recent decisions to play Daniels despite his injuries were misguided and potentially damaging. Griffin detailed the series of physical setbacks Daniels has endured, from a hamstring injury to a knee injury, followed by the dislocated elbow, and finally, the re-injury that has sidelined him most recently. Griffin framed the situation as not just about a single season, but about the long-term welfare of the quarterback and, by extension, the team's ability to build sustainably over the next decade. Now that they're clearly out of the playoffs, and they're playing for pride at this point, Griffin said, "I don't think they should put their young quarterback in harm's way. The best thing for him now and for the team over the next 10 to 15 years is for him to sit out the rest of the year, get healthy, and allow the organization to upgrade the roster around him." Griffin's words are a blend of advice, warning, and personal experience, offering a lens through which fans and analysts alike can evaluate the Commanders' decision-making. In real time, Griffin's remarks have sparked renewed scrutiny of the Commanders' handling of player health, particularly in the context of Daniels' elbow. After suffering a dislocation in Week 9, Daniels returned to play against the Minnesota Vikings, only to land awkwardly and re-injure the same elbow. This decision, while perhaps motivated by short-term competitiveness or a desire to maintain offensive continuity, has been criticized by former players, analysts, and now Griffin himself. From a medical standpoint, the timeline between the original injury and the re-injury raises serious questions about whether proper recovery protocols were observed and whether the franchise prioritized immediate results over the quarterback's long-term well-being. The optics are troubling, and for fans invested in both the team's success and Daniels' career, the situation has become emblematic of the broader tension between performance pressures and prudent health management in professional football. The narrative of Daniels' 2025 season is one of repeated adversity. Beyond the elbow, the quarterback has also contended with knee and hamstring injuries, forcing him to miss multiple games throughout the year and undermining the continuity of the Commanders' offense. Each return to the field has been shadowed by caution, yet the re-injury suggests that the cumulative toll of these setbacks may have reached a critical point. From Griffin's perspective, the parallels between his own career and Daniels' current trajectory are striking. Griffin, like Daniels, entered Washington with immense promise, only to see injuries derail his ability to fulfill that potential fully. The warnings Griffin issues are rooted in lived experience and offer a stark reminder that even elite talent is vulnerable in the face of repeated physical trauma. His message is clear: prioritizing the player's long-term future over short-term gains is not merely a recommendation. It is a necessity for ensuring that Daniels can reach his full potential and avoid the pitfalls that have affected so many promising careers in the NFL. The situation also presents a broader strategic dilemma for the Commanders' front office and coaching staff. With the season effectively lost and playoff contention mathematically impossible, the organization must weigh the benefits of attempting to salvage pride wins against the risk of further injury to their franchise quarterback. Every snap Daniels takes carries potential consequences, and each game missed is an opportunity for the team to evaluate depth, assess developmental talent, and begin planning for the 2026 season without compromising the health of its cornerstone player. The decision is as much about optics as it is about performance. Fans, analysts, and media commentators will undoubtedly debate the merits of resting Daniels versus attempting a comeback, but the long-term perspective offered by Griffin provides a compelling argument for restraint. Protecting Daniels now could pay dividends in the form of a healthier, more productive quarterback in future seasons, and it could allow the organization to approach roster building with clarity rather than urgency born of desperation. Moreover, Griffin's comments serve as a reminder that quarterback development is a delicate balance between opportunity and preservation. The Commanders invested a high draft pick in Daniels, with the expectation that he would evolve into the face of the franchise for the next decade. Yet, the lessons of the NFL are clear: talent alone is insufficient if it is not carefully managed, particularly when injuries threaten to truncate potential prematurely. Washington's medical staff, coaching personnel, and front office now face scrutiny not only for the immediate handling of Daniels, but also for the structural approach to player health and long-term strategy. This situation underscores the importance of adopting a holistic approach that integrates performance analytics, injury history, and strategic foresight, all while balancing the passionate expectations of a fan base hungry for both competitiveness and prudence. Griffin's voice, resonant with historical context and personal experience, elevates the conversation beyond the immediacy of wins and losses, framing it instead around legacy, health, and the preservation of talent. In practical terms, the path forward for Daniels and the Commanders is clear yet challenging. Sitting the quarterback for the remainder of the 2025 season could allow him to fully recover from the elbow and other lingering issues, providing a foundation for a stronger, healthier return next year. It would also afford the coaching staff a chance to evaluate backup talent, experiment with offensive schemes, and identify gaps in the roster that require attention in the offseason. Such a course of action prioritizes the long-term stability of the franchise, while acknowledging the realities of the present. Conversely, continuing to play Daniels risks further injury and could set back his development by months or even years, potentially echoing the trajectory of Griffin's own career. The calculus is simple yet high stakes: immediate pride versus enduring potential, a choice that will define both the quarterback's legacy and the Commander's strategic direction for years to come. Ultimately, the debate surrounding Jayden Daniels' health and playing status encapsulates a broader theme in professional sports: the tension between immediate gratification and long-term planning. The NFL, with its unforgiving schedule, physical demands, and competitive pressures, constantly tests the ability of teams to manage talent wisely. Griffin's unambiguous recommendation that Daniels be shut down for the remainder of the season serves as both warning and guidance, emphasizing that safeguarding a player's future often requires making unpopular decisions in the short term. As the Commanders navigate the remainder of the 2025 campaign, fans and analysts alike will watch closely, weighing every update, every statement, and every move made by the organization. The ultimate outcome may not be measured in wins this season, but in the long-term health, career trajectory, and potential championship aspiration of Jayden Daniels, a quarterback whose talent promises Greatness if preserved and nurtured with care. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The sports world is buzzing with whispers that are impossible to ignore, and the epicenter of this storm is none other than Jayden Daniels. In a move that has sent shockwaves across the league and left fans in sheer disbelief, Daniels has reportedly walked away from the Commanders' training facility, leaving both teammates and staff in utter confusion. Sources close to the quarterback claim that the departure was sudden, almost cinematic in its abruptness, and that Daniels did not just quietly step away. He made a statement. All traces of his affiliation with the Commanders have vanished from his social media accounts, including pictures, videos, and posts that tied him to the team. For a player of his caliber and profile, this is no small gesture. It's a clear, unmistakable signal that something extraordinary is unfolding behind the scenes. Something that insiders are reluctant to fully articulate, but that everyone senses is monumental. The rumor mills are spinning, with analysts, fans, and commentators alike trying to decipher the meaning behind this bold maneuver. The silence from the Commanders' front office has only fueled speculation. While they have not confirmed any details publicly, the absence of an official statement that adequately addresses Daniels' actions has only intensified the narrative that a major shakeup is imminent. People are talking about locker room tension, disagreements over offensive schemes, and even personality clashes that may have escalated beyond repair, but nothing has been verified, leaving the imagination of the fanbase to run wild. The story doesn't end there. Rumors suggest that Daniels' ambitions may be pointing in a very specific direction: a desire to join the Dallas Cowboys. The chatter across social media platforms, forums, and sports talk shows has reached a fever pitch, with the speculation that Daniels has not only requested a trade, but is actively insisting on it. Sources say that the quarterback has made his intentions very clear, and that the Cowboys could become the focal point of one of the most talked about transactions of the year. For years, Daniels has been known for his charisma, leadership, and unyielding competitive drive, and his apparent insistence on joining a team with such a storied legacy as the Cowboys has fans dreaming of what such a pairing might look like on the field. The Cowboys themselves have remained quiet, which only adds fuel to the fire. Insiders hint that executives are aware of the situation and are assessing their options carefully, aware that acquiring a quarterback of Daniels' talent would require a combination of strategic maneuvering, negotiation, and perhaps even some calculated risk. Every detail of the potential trade seems to be under intense scrutiny, and even the smallest hint of movement sends speculation into overdrive, with fans dissecting every press conference, interview, and social media post for clues. Adding to the intrigue is the timing of Daniels' actions. Walking away from the training facility and erasing his ties from social media is not something a player does lightly. It signals a level of frustration and determination that cannot be ignored. Observers have noted that Daniels has often been a fiery competitor, one who does not shy away from making bold statements, both on and off the field. This move, in many ways, is the culmination of that intensity. A public declaration that he is not satisfied with the current situation, and that he is willing to take unprecedented steps to shape his future. Analysts are already comparing this moment to some of the most high-profile quarterback controversies in recent history, pointing out that while Daniels' career has been on a steady ascent, this dramatic gesture could either propel him into superstardom or put him in the center of a polarizing narrative that divides fans and pundits alike. The fact that he took such a decisive action without warning only amplifies the drama, creating an atmosphere of suspense and uncertainty that sports media thrives on. Meanwhile, the fan reaction has been nothing short of electric. Across Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, speculation runs rampant. Some fans are ecstatic at the prospect of Daniels joining the Cowboys, envisioning a new era of explosive offense and marquee matchups. Others are deeply concerned, questioning whether such a move could disrupt team chemistry or whether the reported trade request could backfire spectacularly if negotiations stall. Memes, polls, and endless threads dissect every possible angle, from Daniels' fit within the Cowboys' offensive scheme to the potential ramifications for the Commanders' roster. In fan circles, this story has taken on a life of its own, transforming from a mere rumor into a full-blown cultural moment within the NFL community. Podcasts and YouTube channels are dedicating hours to speculation, often debating what Daniels' departure might reveal about the leadership and future direction of the Commanders. Even casual observers are tuning in, drawn by the intrigue of a narrative that feels almost cinematic in scale. Complete with mystery, drama, and the promise of monumental change, insiders suggest that Daniels' insistence on a trade is more than a simple request. It is reportedly accompanied by conditions, preferences, and perhaps even ultimatums that add layers of complexity to what would already be a significant transaction. Negotiations of this magnitude are rarely straightforward. They involve not just player contracts and salary cap considerations, but also draft picks, potential roster adjustments, and the delicate balance of team dynamics. Every movement, every word, every leaked comment becomes a piece of a sprawling puzzle that fans are desperate to solve. Sources hint that Daniels' representatives are actively engaging with multiple parties, not necessarily to drive a bidding war, but to position Daniels in a scenario that maximizes both his opportunity to succeed on the field and his long-term career trajectory. This strategic maneuvering is exactly what one would expect from a quarterback who is not only talented but also fiercely ambitious and highly media-savvy. Understanding that narrative control and public perception play a critical role in modern sports careers, the Commanders, on the other hand, are reportedly in damage control mode. The front office is said to be weighing multiple courses of action, from attempting to persuade Daniels to stay, to preparing contingency plans in case the trade request escalates into a full-blown standoff. Coaches are quietly strategizing around the possibility of his absence, while teammates are reportedly navigating a mix of loyalty, confusion, and concern. Internal dynamics within the locker room, according to insiders, are tense, with some players reportedly rallying behind Daniels' right to choose his path, while others fear the disruption could hinder team cohesion. Analysts note that these kinds of high-profile departures can either fracture a team or galvanize it, depending on how leadership handles the situation. In the case of the Commanders, it seems that every decision made over the coming days and weeks could have far-reaching consequences, not only for the immediate season, but also for the perception of the organization among players, fans, and the league at large. Meanwhile, the Cowboys camp remains shrouded in mystery, feeding the frenzy rather than quelling it. Every tweet, press conference, or vague comment from team executives is instantly scrutinized for hidden meaning. Sports media outlets are running speculative pieces daily, debating everything from potential trade packages to how Daniels might impact the team's offensive identity. The prospect of Daniels stepping into the Cowboys system has sparked heated debates among analysts. Some believe he could immediately elevate the franchise to championship contention, while others caution that adjusting to a new system midstream is never guaranteed to succeed. Yet, despite the uncertainty, the buzz continues to build, fueled by the larger-than-life personalities involved, the intensity of the reported negotiations, and the sheer drama of the scenario unfolding in real time as this saga continues to evolve. One thing is clear: Jayden Daniels has made a statement that will be remembered for years. Whether this move leads to a blockbuster trade, a prolonged standoff, or some unexpected twist that no one saw coming, the impact on both the Commanders and the Cowboys, as well as the league itself, is undeniable. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are glued to every development, knowing that the next few days could reshape narratives, careers, and perhaps even the course of entire seasons. The echoes of Daniels' departure, his erased social media presence, and his purported demand for a Cowboys trade are reverberating across the sports world. A reminder that in professional football, as in life, ambition, frustration, and opportunity can collide in ways that captivate, polarize, and ultimately define a player's legacy. The story remains unresolved, a living rumor that is as tantalizing as it is volatile. Every tweet, every cryptic comment, every insider tip is being dissected with surgical precision, as fans and media alike attempt to piece together a puzzle that is constantly shifting. The intrigue surrounding Jayden Daniels is not just about football. It is about personality, power, and the audacity to shape one's own destiny in a league where control is often elusive. Whether he ultimately dons the silver and blue of the Cowboys, remains with the Commanders under new terms, or surprises everyone with an unexpected twist, the ripple effects of this moment will be felt for years to come. In the meantime, the sports world watches, waits, and wonders, as one quarterback's dramatic choices ignite speculation, conversation, and the kind of drama that reminds us why we fell in love with the game in the first place. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time. Keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.